During his more than 30-year career, journalist Ray Suarez has reported for a variety of news agencies, including National Public Radio and Al Jazeera America. And he spent nearly 15 years as a correspondent for the PBS Newshour. He's also an author. Some areas of focus have been on Latino American history and the way that faith and politics intersect. He's currently helping students at Amherst College understand more about that through a course titled From the Moral Majority to the Rise of the Nuns. Among people born between 1980 and 2000, the rate of religious unaffiliation is roughly 35%. I asked him the significance of that.
The battles are intensifying over religious messages, religious symbols in public space. Instead of taking a little bit of the pressure out of those fights, it's actually building up the confrontation, because those who still are heavily religiously influenced are digging in their heels and saying, this is America, this is American culture, this is an essential part of our history. And the unaffiliated is saying, look, it's speaking for the government when you put a nativity scene on the steps of City Hall. It's not neutral speech. It's an interesting battle because along with that separation of church and state, there's always been a kind of live and let live attitude toward these things. Nobody says you can't use public streets for a religious procession, let's say. So in Italian communities, in Brooklyn, in the mill towns of Massachusetts, the saint would be paraded through the streets. The men of the congregation would carry this enormous thing, a cat tower on their shoulders. Nobody would say, oh, you have to do that only on church land. There was a kind of rough accommodation for everybody involved, and now we're seeing just conflict.
I want to turn to another book that you've written, Latino Americans, the 500-Year Legacy That Shaped a Nation. Why do you think that that is a portion of history that's continually overlooked?
The way we teach American history is that it's an English thing that eventually marches west across the entire continent. And that's not quite how it happened. The oldest city in the United States is St. Augustine, Florida, which was founded as a Spanish military and religious settlement and way predates Plymouth. The United States has always been a place of many languages, many origins, many religions, and it helps explain the America that we ended up with a lot more adequately than this sort of Anglo-centric story that we often tell about the origins of the United States.
As I understand it, the book that you are currently working on looks at 2044, which will be, as the U.S. Census Bureau reports, the first time that we have a majority-minority country. What's your hope for 2044?
As we've seen in the backlash of the last 2 years, this is not going to be an easy walk to 2044. As a matter of fact, some demographers are saying if President Trump achieves his vision for a rewrite of American immigration laws, the first big one since 1965, 2044 won't get here in 2044. It'll actually delay the number of years that it takes for the United States to eventually be a majority-minority country.
As a longtime journalist, as you look at the media landscape today, what do you think is a story that is unreported or underreported by us and our colleagues?
Because it's something that's happening in slow motion, we haven't figured out yet how to cover the fact that we are now about to have a demographic tidal wave break over our heads. A gray wave of people turning 60 and turning 70 in the next several years that is unlike anything we've ever seen in the history of this country. And we already know that those people, including me, my generation, have not adequately saved for retirement. They have saved very little money, and they no longer can rely, as earlier generations did, on defined benefit pensions. We are going to have, after the magic, after the triumph of reducing elderly poverty in this country, decade after decade after decade, we are now going to see a rising number of elderly poor in this country. We have no plan, we have no response, and right now we're not talking about it. a lot of couples in their late 50s and early 60s have just a few $1,000s saved for retirement. They are going to be poor. They're not going to be able to work until they're 80 years old. We're not talking about it enough, and in fact, we're talking about cutting Social Security and cutting Medicare. That's a numbers response. That's a green eye shade response. It's not a response to the real situation that we face right now with millions of people in their 60s who have no money to retire on.